Looks like Sandy's mic's not on. There it is.
Is it on
And
now?
we are actually live. Let's see. Yep, we're live. Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Miss Diva Trucker. I'm coming to y'all today. We are live. I have ladies on the line with us, and we're coming today to speak to you all about mother and the trucking industry. And give me one moment. Let me see something. We're going to try to answer your questions. We may have a little delay, but don't worry about that. I should be able to see your questions as you type them in the comments. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself, which you all should all know me by now. I'm Miss Nika Trucker. I've been in the industry here on my block for 4 years. I have two children, two boys. Well, they're not kids, they're grown. They're actually 20 and 27. I do regional driving over here at LTI, and we're just going to talk about how we handle managing our families out here on the road. So first up, I wanted to introduce you to a lady, one of my female truckers named Brandy. Brandy, would you please tell everyone about yourself, how long you've been in the industry, how many kids you have, and anything you want to say about yourself?
Hi, I'm Brandy Ramsey. I have been a driver for a little bit over 2 years. I currently am a female flatbed driver for Melting Trucking. I started in reefer. I have also done dry box. I have 5 kids, 22, 21, 14, 13, and 11, and a 3-year-old grandson. Um, I've enjoyed all of it, and I am a fourth generation truck driver, just first female.
And Brandy, what got you in the industry as far as driving trucks?
As a little girl, my father was a truck driver, and I saw him being a truck driver, and I've always wanted, but in the 80s, when, most people as children, in school, you did that. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I told him a truck driver, but that wasn't a job for a female. And they told me to try being a teacher or a secretary, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I got tired of struggling, so I went out on faith and went to truck driving school, and here I am. I should have did it 20 years ago.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Brandy, for joining us. We really do appreciate having you here. And to let everyone also know that everyone here is a part of the sisterhood group, which is She Trucking Sisters Helping Empower everyone. So if you haven't done so, please, I encourage you to join that group, and you will be able to talk to the ladies that are on the panel today. The next person that I wanted to introduce to you all is Miss Cindy, and she is a female trucker as well, and also a mother trucker. Cindy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Cindy Banks. I've been trucking for 20 years. I started off with reefer and teaming with my husband. And then when my kids were around, I did hopper bottom and did local and hauled beets into the factory. After they grown up and got into high school, or out of high school, I should say, I went out on the road again with my husband. Now I'm driving solo. We both drive solo, and I'm dry box and tanker now. And my girls are 29, 27, and 25, and I have two grandkids, little boys, 1.5 years old and 1 month and a half.
Okay, so we got one that is doing flatbed, one that has experience in tankers, and like I said, we are really glad that you all came to share your experience. So next up, I wanted to introduce to y'all another one of our lady truck drivers, which is Heather. Heather, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name is Heather Hickson. I've been driving for 4 years. I do hazmat, and I just recently started doing dry box and reefers. and I have done tanks as well. And I just now started going local. It was overseas, but I now came home to be able to spend a little more time with my kids. I have two girls. One is 11 and one is 8.
Okay, well, thank you. So, y'all, today we're getting a lot of experience. We're getting someone that is a flatbed driver. We're getting a lady trucker that has experience in tankers. Then we have someone that is local. Okay, so next one that I want that needs to introduce herself is Miss Sandy. Miss Sandy, please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the industry.
Yes, my name is Sandy. I've been driving for 14 years. I started out as a yard spotter for Home Depot, just shuffling the trailer from dock door to dock doors. And I actually love it. I didn't have a desire for trucking, but my supervisor wanted me to move trailers, so that's what I did. So that's how I got in the industry. And I started out with Warner Enterprise, and I went and got my CDLs, and I've been driving ever since. I have two kids. My daughter is 20 now, and my son is 14.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And the next person that we have up is Miss Jasmine. Miss Jasmine, tell us about a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone. My name's Yasmin Ortega. I've been driving for 2 years. I was currently with an owner operator, and now I decided to go solo on the truck with Swift Transportation. I am a regional driver, driving a drive-in, and I'm loving it out here. I have a 9 years old daughter at home. Grandparents help me watch her.
Okay. Well, again, thank you all so much for joining. First of all, I wanted to say, um, what are some of the challenges that you experience as far as getting in the industry and managing working from the road? Some of you are maybe local, some of you are maybe out on the road. How often, how is it that you're able to be out here in this career and still maintain keeping your family together? Cindy, we'll start with you.
Okay. It just kind of depends on your company you work for, whether or not you know what they require for your home time or anything else. I'm with a terrific company right now, RNA, and we're through the house every 4 or 5 days, and we go out and we take our home time and everything else, and it's usually at home if we can help it. I have super people to work with.
Okay. And Sandy, as far as the support system, tell me about your support system at home. Like, how do you manage it? What do you do to try to make it work for you and your family?
Well, at first, it was kind of difficult, because you have people watching them, and then they get tired of watching them, and then you have to find the best option for you and your children. So, of course, the grandparents are the best option when it comes down to really that support system, because I don't care how much money you pay or groceries you buy, look like nothing was not good enough at first. And, you get frustrated, but you got to have faith and just stay in there, because it's going to get hard. And, you know, just like Amy, she said that you got to find a good company too also, because it just depends on what company you go with. They really work with you and your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Jasmine, with weighing your options as far as OTR, regional, local, what are the benefits? What do you look for in a company in order to be at that company to help maintain your family support that you need to have with your home versus being on the road? What are the attributes that you look for in a company when you're going out on the road?
When I was currently with the owner operator, I had more home time than what I have with Swift Transportation. I try to take off at least 3 times out the month. Um, And juggling with a child at grandparents, like Sandy said, you know, it does get tiring for the grandparents. People do get tired of watching their kids and stuff like that. And just having a great support system while you're out on the road, because it gets hard for your kids too.
Right. As far as Heather, let me ask you this. What do you do when I know you're at home? So is it different for you being local? Are you able to go home every day and be there for them? Is it like how is it for you being local at home?
Well, now that I'm local, it's a lot different because vice versa is when I was on the road. On the road, I was with a different company and I was out 3 weeks and then I would come home for a week. Now, actually, I get to choose if I want to work mornings or nights and be home either during the mornings or during the nights. Because
When
when
you
I was over the road, I took my kids with me over the road and homeschooled them. And then I decided that that wasn't the life I wanted them to live, so I came local so they could go into a school, make friends and stuff.
Okay. So when you was out over the road, how did you handle the birthdays, Christmases, the Thanksgiving, the holidays? How did you handle that being on the road as a driver?
Well, for me, it was pretty easy because now they've got this technology of videos and stuff like that. So if I couldn't make it home, I have my ex-husband when sh- the kids both went there, they would video me. So I could be there with them while they open their presents. Thanksgiving, my family would put me on the table so I get to watch and everybody eat, which was kind of not fair, but
Did
at
what you
least I
can.
got to be part.
Okay. And Brandy, let me ask you this. How is it that you can be a parent? When you have kids, you have a lot of difficult things that happen out here on the road. Somebody needs help at all times. The kids need their mom at all times. So when things come up, such as crisis, somebody has to have something for school, or they need money for this, or they just need you to be there. How do you handle that, Brandy?
Um, Western Union and MoneyGram. Oh my God. I mean, I think I should have stock in both of them. Usually, they would call me because, it was easier when I had a set bank account because it was cheaper that way. I could just transfer money, in there, but it kind of made it difficult being across country. You might not have where I'm from, you have like Regions and Wells Fargo, but let's say you go to Dallas, they only have Chase. So it was kind of hard trying to find a bank, and then if I didn't want to do Western Union, finding like a Wells Fargo or Regions, and then it was trying to find somewhere close enough that had enough accommodations for the truck, which is not easy to do.
That's for sure.
And park and maybe walk 5-6 a mile to get to it so I could put the money in their account. Or most of the time it was Western Union, doing the Western Union app, where I could just pull into a truck stop or a rest area and just wire them the money, but that becomes very expensive. Like the other parents, Facebook performed miracles, especially the first time going out without it, because, my kids were used to me being there all the time. So, when I first went out, what I started doing was wherever I went, I took pictures and I would post it to Facebook and tag them in it. So it was almost like they were with me, but they wasn't with me because they're seeing where I'm going, but they're in Alabama. Or my 14-year-old, before she went on the road with me, she would always, which kids do, Mama, come pick me up. I might be in Maine at the time. She's in Alabama. It's not like I can go around the corner and pick her up in the truck and keep moving.
Right.
It also became a geography class, because then I would tell them, my younger kids, look, go get a map. And when you call me, well, where are you? Well, I'm in such and such. So then they would do like little stick marks and put that here, and I'm at here, and I'm here, and I'm here. So it made it a little bit easier, and it made it, I felt a little bit better from going from struggling before of working that 9 to 5 where you were making $8 an hour and you barely had money to buy a 65-cent soda, to now I was able to provide for them better. Because, now it was like, okay, depending on the company, Mama, I need $50. Before it was like, okay, we'll see what we can do. You probably won't get it, but okay, now it's like, okay, look, whose name do I need to send the Western Union in? Is it your
Right.
grandma? Is your daddy? Who do I need to send it to?
Let me ask you this, Yasmin. When you got in the industry, you know you have kids. Tell me what that decision was like. The first time you was
Well,
away from them, having that separation anxiety, the stress of you being on the road by yourself, and you worried about your kids at home. How did you deal with those issues, especially when you first got out here? Like, how did you do that? I know you cried some, and you wasn't able to be there. How do you deal with the separation of not having your kids there with you all the time?
it's a very stressful roller coaster when you decide to go into this industry. And it's a big life changer. I mean, also, as far as my parents, they have helped me so much. Like, I can't be no, I'm blessed. I'm very blessed to have my mom and my dad to help me and help me watch my daughter. But it's very difficult on my daughter sometimes. Sometimes she wants to be in the truck with me and she wants to be here, but I know that she can't be here with me.
Yeah. Yes, man. A lot of times, ladies, we get criticism for being females out on the road with kids. Um, Sandy, you've been out here for 14 years. Okay. So, we some people feel that as a woman, you need to be home taking care of your kids. You don't need to be out here on the road as a truck driver. You supposed to be there at home with them. What do you say, Sandy? What can you tell people that when they feel that way, as how do you deal with it?
Well, for me, I tell everybody, we out here to support our kids. So, it's just like everything else. You got to give or take. This is how we, as truck drivers, women, as single parents, that because I'm a single parent, so it was extra hard for me. But I wanted to tell them never give up, always strive for the best because my kids, they miss me, they call me, they whine, but like I told them, if they want good and better, this is what I got to do to survive for them, to make for them because jobs don't pay good money like they used to anymore. So trucking was the industry
Right.
that kept my household up.
Kept it moving, right?
Yeah.
Heather, let me ask you this. With us being out here, and we hear the support about grandmothers, grandfathers, family. We may have aunties and uncles and things like that. Does anyone have the support of the fathers, being a single mother? Or how do you deal with those different struggles and being able to maintain everything? Because that's the issue. A lot of women that do come in the industry, they don't have that support. They depend on the family and things like that. So how do you manage with that?
For me, because my mom, she lives almost 3.5 hours away. I had my ex-husband, even though we never got along, I still asked him for help. I had my boyfriend who helped me, or then there was the neighbors who would work with me. So I would know that they made it home from school, they made it to school. You have to find somebody. If you can't find that, then if they're old enough, or if you're an owner op, depending on your company, you can bring them with you on your truck and homeschool them. It's a good thing to do. It teaches them more about going out and making what you want of the world.
Right. And Cindy, let me ask you, when being out here on the road, did you ever get the chance to take your kids out on the road with you, like driving and things like that, so they can experience some of the things that we do out here? So I think bringing our kids out here sometimes, you know, when they of age, helps them to understand that we're not just out here being away from them because we want to be away from them. They actually get a chance to see what we do.
Yeah, when they were a lot younger, all three of them went out on the truck with me, and they experienced a lot of geographics, a lot of history, and a lot of stuff, you know, you learn in books, and out here you get to experience it. Later on, like now, when I go and visit and they'll be talking to me, they'll go, Mom, after being in the truck, I know how it is when you guys have to stop. And I think, boy, what a stupid, or the four-wheeler doesn't know how to act, you know, or, you know, that we can't stop on a dime and everything else. And they really understand that now.
Right. Well, I just wanted to take a moment because we do have some people on our live feed, and we got a message from Natara Williams. She wanted to just say, hello, ladies. I commend you all for what you do and making it happen. Keep up the good work. She's a former military driver. We also want to let y'all know that if you have any questions for these ladies, please don't mind, you know, just texting it in the box and I can ask them some of the questions that you may have. This may be a little bit different, but since y'all are all here, I get this question: how old is too old to be a woman in the trucking industry? Like, I'm 47 years old, but I have ladies that are 50, 54, 60. They want to know, too old? Are they too old to come out here and be a part of this?
Oh God, no.
No.
There's no age limit. No age limit whatsoever.
Long as you physically can do it and you can do it safe, there's no age limit.
Yeah, I must agree with Cindy.
What are some of your what are some of your things that you look for when you are selecting a company? Like, what are your must-haves when you select a company for you when you have children out here?
Benefits. It has to be benefits, most definitely. And the money has to be right. I mean, when you first come out in the industry, you know, chump change, that's what I say, when they start paying you percent per mile. But once you get your 2 years in, then they should be able to pay you a little bit more.
Okay.
With the experience.
It's the benefits and the pay, but you also got to look, because my old company, I didn't want to leave them. They were a Christian-oriented company. They were all about families. They prayed every Sunday. They did live videos of praying and making sure that you could call your families. So it literally, I look for who's more family oriented when I go and do mine, to know that they're going to make it to where I can get home on time if my daughter's hurt or however. Because when my daughter got hurt, they gave me a rental car and sent me home.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I look for a company. Money is money, but my biggest thing is family oriented.
Right.
Well, that's true. Cindy, if you got an emergency and say you live in Texas and you way up in Washington and these kids need you to come home right away, how do you handle a situation like that?
Most of the time, like with my company now, they'd get me right home and I would get there to them. You know, each company's different. Like what Heather says, you know, they'll get a rental car and go home. It depends if you have a place to park the truck. It depends on each company, but the company I'm here with for now, they get me home when I need to, and I'll go see family or do whatever I need to do.
Right.
Brandy, I wanted to ask you because you do flatbed. And you don't see a lot of women out here doing flatbed. Okay, we either tend to go to drive-in reefer or something else, tankers or something like that. How is it for you doing flatbed out here, being a woman driver?
Honestly, it's actually funny because when I got into trucking,
can you unmute your? Let me see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, it's actually a funny story because when I first got in, I'm a daughter of a flatbedder. My dad was a flatbedder. And when I got into trucking, first thing, everybody's like, well, flatbed makes so much money. Why don't you go flatbed? And excuse my language, I said, there's no way in hell I'm going flatbed. It is too much hard damn work and I'm not about to do it. I will sling a door in a heartbeat. Lo and behold, 2 years later, I'm flatbedding. But me deciding to do flatbedding is a different reason. I have my own LLC and I eventually wanted to have my own truck. So I wanted to have flatbed drivers. So I went to flatbed because I wanted to have the experience, not like a lot of us ladies and guys know. You'll have a dispatcher to tell you, oh, you can go from New York to California and you're a solo driver in 2 days. And they have no clue because they've never been on a truck. So that's why I did flatbed. But to be honest, it is hard work. For the first month, I felt like I was a 90-year-old woman. People were like, ma'am, are you all right? Are you all right? Because I'm scrunched over in pain because, you use muscles that you have never used in your life. Yeah. And, the tarps are not light. My lumber tarps, dry, and I will iterate dry, because they do weigh different amounts depending on what it is. The lumber tarps dry are about 90 pounds.
Okay.
Wet, they're probably about 115. So, it's much heavier. We have steel tarps. They're about 60 pounds. But like I said, wet or ice, they're much heavier. So, you kind of start learning tricks of the trade of when you have to tarp these loads, getting, some people say, well, females have it much easier. Yeah, I do. I don't like using being a female, but I am going to use it to my advantage. If I got a forklift driver by me and I got to lift that tarp back on that trailer, quick thing, sweetie, can you put that tarp back up on there for me? Because I really don't feel like lifting it. And they're real nice. And I can't say, all of us are real nice, but one thing I have learned with flatbedders, it doesn't matter. And my phone died.
Did it go out? Oh, are you there?
Her phone died.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cindy, you have experience in tankers. That is another division that not too many women get into. Tell me about your experience in doing in the tanker division.
Well, I've been doing tanker for about a year now, and I haul milk or cream into the groceries, like Kroger, Smith's, or any of that have the dairy facilities and the DFA facilities, so they can make butter and everything else. Most of the time, it's a lot of waiting. You wait in line next, truck in line. You go in, and they do all the unloading and everything for you. So when it comes to swapping the hoses and everything else, I don't have to do that. I'm kind of lucky that way.
Okay. Now, Heather, let me ask you this: with being local, the myth is when you go local, do you lose money? Can you maintain the money that you make OTR? Is there a big difference from you going from the OTR to being at home every day? How long was you out on the road before you made a decision to be a local driver?
I was about 3.5 years, and then I made that decision. But there is a difference in the pay. People say there's not, but there actually is. Because when you're local, it depends on if you can get 1, 2, or 3 loads on your hour clock, because you're on an 80-hour clock when you're local. So you get 12 hours of drive time. Some people don't realize that. Vice versa, when you're OTR, you guys are on a 70-hour, 11-hour drive. So we get an extra hour of driving. Plus, we get a full 16 hours on duty. So it's literally a huge difference in just the hours alone. So it's not just that, but it's also depending on what company you go with will also determine your pay. So for me, when I switched companies, I did drop in pay, but it was worth it in the long haul because I get to be home every day.
Every day with your family. And Yasmin, are you still over the road?
Yeah, I'm doing over the road regional, 11 Western states.
How often are you able to get home?
I try to go home 3 times out the month.
Okay, so you get there that's like almost what, the weekends or something, or during the week?
I try to do it on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I like those days.
How long have you been driving? How long you been out here in the industry?
I'm 1 month with Swift right now, and then I was almost 2 years with my owner operator.
Okay, so okay, being out here as an owner operator, what are some of the things that you like as far as being out here on the road, or driving out here on the road, making this career change, being a driver? What are some of the things that are pluses for you?
I love the traveling, most definitely. And then, you get educated as far as, learning new things, and every state has something, that I didn't even know. So I educate myself as well, So I usually bring home little souvenirs every state that I try to go to my daughter.
And that's what they look for that. So y'all do a lot of FaceTime and being able to communicate back and forth. What suggestions would you have for people that do have kids that made a whole lot made things better for you?
Well, technology is pretty big, so I mean, without that technology, you can't really, see your kids, your family, and friends and stuff like that. I usually get phone calls and stuff like that.
And
definitely.
Then you all are able to, and one thing that we can do once we get out here and get our experience and do the things that we need to do, depending on what company we go to, we can always adjust when needed. Like when the kids need us home a little bit more, we're able to change and maybe do a regional or a dedicated, or come in for a little bit. So we do have options. We don't have to get out here and think that just because we went truck driving and out here on the road, we got to stay out here on the road. We're able to adjust whenever it is that we need to better take care of our families. Cindy,
there are some companies out here though that do let you transfer from OTR to regional and then go right back to OTR after you're done.
Okay, that you'll be able to transition back and forth if you need to do that. So Cindy, did you have anything that you wanted to discuss or talk about, or any point?
You just really have to do your research and find that perfect company. Sometimes it takes more than 1 or 2 different companies to find that perfect fit for you. Being out here 20 years, it wasn't always easy. It's easy now, but it wasn't ever always easy. It's it's struggle, but you adjust, and the longer you're out here, the more fun you have, and you guys can do it. Females can do it just as well as the guys, and if we weren't out here, America stops without us trucks.
I know. Brandy, what are some last words that you wanted to give as far as any female or mother that wants to make the decision as far as coming into the industry and become a truck driver?
You can do it. It does take some kind of sacrifice, and you just have to find your way of being able to connect with your kids. A lot of companies have rider, like a lot of the drivers said, of maybe on a spring break, going in the home and picking up the kids and taking them out on the road with you. So it kind of helps with that time that you're not with your kids, talking to them. That's one thing that I like about Melton is they require, if you have a family, you call home at least once a day to let them know that you're all right, because, you hear too much on the news of truck driver went this and, this. You can do it. It's going to be a great sacrifice. Every mother, because we're more, I won't say more, but we're more with our kids. We don't want to separate from our kids, but you can do it. You just have to have the mindset. If you're determined that you don't want to be on government assistance, you don't want to be grouped into that of being on welfare, and you're depending on your baby daddy for, child support payments. He don't want to give you the money for the kids. So you're working. I mean, I did it because, one, I was doing a regular job. I was away from my kids, not making any money. So you might as well, in my mindset, if I'm going to be away from my kids, I might as well make better money. Being all honest, you can do it. It just takes that sacrifice and that determination, and not listen to some of these guys that women need to be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant and, this kind of stuff. Because I've heard that too. And I'm like, look, you're an idiot, but go ahead. But, a lot of our kids are, highly educated. It's not that we're so, we only have an elementary education. We have kids out here that are in college, that we're paying for college educations. They might be at community schools. They might be at, local colleges, universities, but we're not that low class that they want to put us in. We're highly educated women and men out here. There are so many people. I have a college degree, couldn't find a job in that degree and wasted all this money on student loans, but we're not, that's the thing I want to reiterate to everybody. We're not low class people. There are former doctors, nurses, veterans, everything. We're highly educated, and it's a sacrifice you just have to make. And it benefits in the long run, because now your kids don't have to say, oh, well, I can't go to Walmart and get me a toy because you're struggling because you had to pay that light bill, that water bill, and everything else. And you didn't have that money. You might have gone from homelessness. I was homeless for 2 years. So, I know the struggle that you just have to make that sacrifice and say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let me try something different, because what I'm trying right now is not working.
Right.
Right. And that's why I say we're not trying to tell people that it is easy, because it's not. We go through a lot of struggles out here. We missing our family, we missing the kids. There's a lot of things that we miss. But as far as being able to be providers for our children, and a lot of us do it on our own, that is just why we do it. That's why we get out here. That's why we make that sacrifice, because we see what we can do for our families out here. Heather, what are some of the things that you may want to say to mothers that are thinking about getting into the industry and getting out and making truck driving their career choice?
I just would tell women, look at all the companies. Don't just make a choice on pay. Look at every single one, but also invest in I'd say Verizon or AT&T, because believe it or not, you can actually have wireless internet on your truck. And make sure you have multiple devices for your children to be able to call you either when you're sleeping or when you're awake. Wi-Fi comes in really handy for that. But just figure out what's best for you. I have loans, I have degrees, but you know what? I followed my heart, which was trucking after I got out of the military. That was what fit me the best. So follow what you want. Don't just do it because somebody's saying you need to. Follow what you want. Get out there, make them go, and do the best you can to your best ability. And you'd be surprised what you can accomplish.
All right, Yasmin. Well, we're gonna let you finish it up. As far as you and encouraging other people, motivate other people, what would you like to tell the future female drivers, the mothers, anyone that wanted to get into this industry? What would be?
I'm a single mom. If I could do it, you could do it. You know, like I said in past posts, and you'll see me posting on the sisterhood. You know, don't limit yourself. And if you're gonna break limits, break your own limits, not the limits of others, because that's important. I mean, when you come out here, you got to learn how to love this truck. You got to be able to fully accept that there's gonna be struggles. We got our hard days, we got our easy days. There's times where your family is gonna miss you and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, you could do it.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I also want to let each and every one of you all know that's out there watching or may watch this broadcast at a later time that the Sisterhood group is on Facebook. You will find it under I think it says Sisterhood Helping Empowerment of Others. You will be able to see all these ladies and contact them and just ask them questions if you have any in the group. We would love for you to join. But and also, like I say, come out here with a plan, okay? Don't just get in the trucking and think everything is just going to happen for you. Have a plan, map that plan out, and then if things don't go the way that you want them to go, readjust the plan.
Yeah.
But when you get out here, it's not going to be easy at all. This is going to be one of the hardest things that you have ever done in your life, but it can be one of the rewarding things that you've ever done in your life. And I like I say, I've been here 4 years. I don't plan on going anywhere. Nobody bothers me. All I gotta do is get my load to where I'm supposed to go. Sometimes, you know, you're gonna have your struggles with the kids and family and things like that, but always surround yourself with positive people that are going to uplift you, encourage you, and motivate you to stay focused and stay on your grind, so you will be able to make and be successful as you want to be. And you're the only person that can determine your success. Okay. So thank you all for joining us, y'all. If y'all have any other questions, please join us on our Facebook page. And I want to also send a special shout out to Sheree Moore for putting this all together for us. She the one came up with the idea of, you know, having this open discussion of mothers getting on social media and telling our experiences and trying to help those that are coming in the industry. And especially because Mother's Day is coming up next week, okay? And I think she is going, yes, it is Sisterhood Helping Empowerment and Transportation. It's the Facebook group. Follow the link. People are joining every day, and we are talking to the ones that are getting in the industry. We're also helping you through your struggles out here, and we've been there, done that, yeah. And we got T-shirts too. I should have had on my shirt, but we got T-shirts as well. So thank you all, ladies, for taking the time out of your day. Y'all, I'm sorry we did not start on time, but as y'all can see, we are all in different time zones. We are all, you know, either on a truck or doing something, but I'm glad we was able to get together and make this work. And thank you so much. Until next time, ladies, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.